back to the shop. Welded our handle back onto our blade here. We got a little bit more work to do. There's a few spots in this blade that are kind of uneven, and the tang is kind of tweaked off to one side a little bit. So we're going to throw this back in the forge and work it a little bit more. But for the most part, we're pretty much done with this thing. We just got a little straightening to do, and we're going to get it hot and put it in the vise, and we'll just work it down through the vise and clamp it, you know, down and make sure it's nice and straight. And then we'll be able to get to grinding on this thing. So thanks for watching. Appreciate y'all being here. Let's get after it. We've got our knife. We had to make a few little tweaks and adjustments to it and make sure that it was nice and straight. So we fired up the forge and got that done. We've got it in our annealing bucket now. That's just floor dry in there. It's not any special kind of thing or wizardry or anything like that. I just run up to the parts store and buy a bag of floor dry. I had to buy a new bag because we changed the transmission on that old Ford last summer, or we put put that flex plate in it, which meant we had to pull the trans and transfer case, and we had transmission fluid all over my driveway. So I used my annealing compound to clean up that transmission fluid, and I annealed one knife in it afterwards, and it smoked and it stunk the garage all up, so we decided to dump that out and go buy a fresh bag. So brand new bag of special chicken scratch floor dry annealing compound in our bucket. We'll let that cool off slowly now. By shoving it in there, that allows it holds the heat in better. And a lot of guys just lay it out on the anvil or whatever to let it anneal that way. But we're gonna go ahead, and I always like to just stuff it in that bucket with that floor dry. It's just clay. So it can sit in there, and being surrounded by that clay will help it to cool down really slowly, get all our molecules back in line. And once that's cooled off, we'll cut that handle off. We'll do a couple of little welds in there in the end of that tang and clean that up, and we can start shaping our knife. So we'll be back in a bit. All right, guys, here's our knife, all annealed, and we got it flattened out pretty well, I think. We've still got a couple of spots, but that's not due to it being bent. That's due to it being a little thicker in some spots than others. So we try to get it as close as we can on the anvil, but we don't get it perfect. But that's what the old 2x72 Oregon blade maker is for. We'll put that bad boy to work. But it's pretty straight. I don't think we're going to get it any straighter than that. And as heavy of a blade as this is going to be, I don't believe we'll have to worry a bit about any warping in the quench or anything. I've never had any real bad warps in the quench. I had one knife that warped a little bit in the quench, but we knocked that right out of it by clamping it to a piece of angle iron while we tempered it in the oven at 400 degrees. So if you leave it in there for an hour, and then I let it cool off, and then I do it again for another hour, so it's 2 hours of tempering at 400. And with the knife clamped to a piece of angle iron, real solid, it'll generally take that warp out of it. So, but I don't think we're gonna have to worry about that with this big old piece of steel. So we're ready to start doing some grinding and shaping and getting our knife into a little better shape where it looks a little more like the knife that we're looking for. So let's get on that grinder. here's where we are. Got our shape pretty much the way we want it. We're a tiny bit thick right through here yet, but that just leaves me a little bit of room for my working on my bevels if I go a little over. We're exactly 15 inches from the tip of the blade to the tip of the handle right there. I think I left a smidgen of room for grinding. We got our handle shaped up pretty nice. We still got a long way to go. We got it pretty flat and smooth. We still need to grind in our bevels here. I'm going to rough grind the bevels in before we quench it or anything. But all in all, that handle feels really good. It fits really well in my hand. Boy, that'd make, you can chop down a tree. That's a pretty thick blade. I've grounded it quite a bit. And we're nice and straight here. So I'm pretty happy with it. That'll be enough for today. I didn't tell you guys it's Wednesday. I just had a surprise day off work today. Some of the jobs at work are changing around and that, and so they didn't have anything for me to do today, but back at it tomorrow. So we'll get back on Saturday. We'll make another video Saturday, and we'll get these primary bevels ground in. Those bevels are going to come way up here. They may come up 2/3. You know, 2/3 of the way up this blade. I know they're going to at least come up halfway, but I may come up more than that. A lot of grinding. Wore out 140 grit belt on the big grinder. Well, it had been used some, but it was a pretty new belt when I put it on there, and we used it up. So I had to put a new 40 grit on there, but I'm telling you, that was a lot of steel to grind right there. So I'm real happy with the shape of this bad boy. I think it looks quite good. You know, the profile of the knife. It's going to be a pretty one when it's done. So I appreciate y'all being here. Wasn't much to see today, just some grinding and goofing around. I did post a video earlier because when I fired up the forge in the first part of this video and kind of straightened out the tang and had to straighten it out a little and put it in the vise and got everything straight, once I threw it in that bucket to anneal it, there wasn't anything to do for 2 or 3 hours till that thing cooled down nice and slow. So we went ahead and I made some micarta, and we posted a video a little earlier about that. So we'll call it good for this one. I appreciate y'all watching. This will be part 2 of the competition chopper, and part 3 on Saturday. It'll take us a couple more videos to get this one done. We got a lot of work to do on this handle, things like that. So again, thanks everybody for watching. Get out to your shop, do something, tear something up, fix something, build something, or just clean your dirty shop. Mine already needs to be cleaned again, and I just did it here, what was it, 2 weeks ago? So yeah, always be careful when you're working in your shop. Protect yourself from catching on fire. Use your safety gear, safety glasses and all of that. And just get out to your shop and have some fun and do something. If you haven't subscribed yet, there's a button. There'll be a button right down here in the center, little round button with a picture of me on it. You can click on that button, you can go subscribe. I sure appreciate it. Thanks to all my subscribers I already have. You guys are all a bunch of great people. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for watching. We'll see you all on the next one.